Hi, I'm Joshua, and today I'd like to discuss how long it took me to heal with the medical medium information. So, I first heard about the medical medium in the early 2015, this early spring of 2015. And I'd first listened to one of his radio show episodes, and right off the bat, I could just tell, I could hear the authenticity and the compassion and the truth in his voice. And I knew it was the real deal. I mean, I'd been into, I thought, a healthy lifestyle for a long time. I'm going to do another video about that. But, I'd been eating organic for, since early high school and whatnot. But when I heard this, I knew it made sense in terms of all I'd known about holistic health and healthy eating. And also I could feel the authenticity in it. So started listening to his radio shows, started implementing some of the things. I think I had already been gluten free, but I started cutting out some of the no foods like the eggs and the dairy. I started bringing in some, slowly some of the supplements and things. But really, when his first book came out in fall of 2015, the first book, Medical Medium, when I read that book, I really kicked it into high gear. I started doing the celery juice every morning, the heavy metal detox smoothie every morning, taking the main supplements, and been doing that regularly, daily for over 3 years now. So I think a lot of people might wonder, how long does it take to heal? And I think Anthony has discussed this and said, it varies by person. It varies by what virus strains we have in us, what different toxins and pathogens we have in us. So for me personally, I was actually born with jaundice, which I'm learning about in the new liver rescue book. Means I was born with toxins already in my liver and probably viruses as well. And and also, I know that I had high levels of heavy metals in my family line based on some of the illnesses my grandparents had. And surprisingly, my dad, when I was telling him about the medical medium information, I mentioned DDT, and he said he actually played when they were spraying DDT in the streets as a kid. He played in it, which is just mind blowing to me. But so I definitely had DDT in my family line as well. So I was in my mid 30s when I started the protocol. If you assume I had the toxins and viruses from birth, that's about 35 years. I think Anthony said once that it could roughly take about a year for every decade that someone was sick. So if you imagine I was sick my whole life, that's about 3.5 years, which is how long I've been doing following the information. And, I'd say, there was gradual improvements, a couple steps forward, a couple, step back throughout the process. And there were some incremental steps forward, but, I feel, yeah, about 3.5 years is when I really started to feel really, really great. Like really just all around healthy, strong, balanced, just feel really, really good. So it did take, for about a year on the heavy metal detox smoothie before I noticed fit like a mental clarity. I actually noticed it. I noticed that I was felt clearer, which is pretty wild. Um, and I did have to adapt. The first year, I think there were a couple times where I had like emotional outbursts and ended up like going out and getting bad food or whatnot. Thankfully, I haven't eaten fast food or I haven't gone out for an egg sandwich in a couple years, which is great. And I don't have cravings anymore.